You are now listening to Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio. My name is John.
My name is Christian.
If you are interested in action figures and toys, you have reached the right place because that's what we talk about. We have an awesome one lined up for you today. We are going to go over R-rated movies that got children's toy lines, which I can't wait to dive into. We're going to do our next on deck collection, which is like things that we theoretically, in quotation marks, would be looking to collect next. That segment has cost me about $1,500 thus far. We're on episode 10. We're going to break down the week of news for you, and we're also going to get to our newest segment, the Toy Soldier Figure Flashback, which is, y'all, we want to hear from you guys and hear about your favorite toys. So we're definitely going to get into all that today on episode 10. Before we do that, Christian, what have you been up to for the last week?
Kind of the same old. Kind of the same thing, man. Go hit every single day. Feeling really good about that. Been barreling up some baseballs. We got a gap in between our games right now. I think our next game is next Saturday. So just trying to stay hot, which is really hard to do whenever you play games. And then there's 2 to 3 week gaps. It's like, how can I actually stay hot? But that's been really, really good. And I have something. I watched something last night that's going to tie in to...
You watched a good movie?
I watched a movie last night.
That was...
on a school night, which is crazy because normally
that other people have seen.
Wow. I watched Robocop.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I've got some takes on it that I'm.
Okay. I want you to hold on
to it. We're going to talk about that when we get to the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. But I did watch that last night, and I was like, interesting. I had a lot of takeaways from it.
This is totally spontaneous. This was not planned ahead of time.
Well, check this out. So last week, after we chatted because we talked about pizza rolls, we talked about playing video games. You and I, we went and had lunch, came back, played video games for a little while. We played the Robocop game, Robocop versus Terminator.
Yeah. Excellent game.
And then I was like, you know what? I don't really have anything happening later tonight. I think I'm going to watch Robocop.
Sweet.
And then it was like, as soon as I was getting ready to watch it, and then I wish that there was like a camera on me, because then it was like, okay, getting it ready and then push and play, and then like the next would be a cut to, and it'd be me laughing on the couch because I was watching Naked Gun 33 and the third or whatever. So I ended up watching that instead because I was like, you know what, I'm kind of in that mood right now, and so that's about it. But as far as what I've been up to this week, that's the same old, man. I'm a creature of absolute habit, but I love every bit of it. So what about you?
Little the same and a lot different. I had a change this week that occurred to me in my heart and soul.
Okay.
That is profound and heavy.
Okay.
But yeah, I did hit all my kickboxing classes, hitting a really good stride there. Like, I'm getting in really good cardio shape, and my body doesn't hurt half as bad as it did when I started doing this. So that's pretty awesome. Like, my workouts have been pretty good. But
now you're in it, you know. I'm not having to climb that mountain.
It's more about the technique of my footwork than it is about can I lift my leg.
Yeah.
It's getting really, really fun. I'm like really getting it's consuming a lot of my thoughts.
I love that, dude. That's how you know when you're obsessed. Is like when you got things on your brain 24/7, you can't even help it.
Yeah, I've been journaling after every class of like what we focused on, what went well, what I could improve on, what I need to do before the next class. And it's getting to the point where I was kind of telling my girlfriend when I got home last night, like, I'm getting singled out for attention really frequently to the point where it's kind of making me uncomfortable. But like, somebody on the other side of the room that isn't even working with me is like, good job, John. And I'm like, what? I'm not watching you.
The chosen one.
Yeah, like, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's good. That's a good thing. But
I kind of like that.
I don't accept like compliments and attention well. But so that's going really good. But the main thing that happened to me this week, pertaining somewhat to the show, I started to tell you this.
Yes.
And you big leagued me. You shut me down and said, don't talk to me unless the red light's on.
we again, for people who
I don't chit chat for free, is what you said.
No, I'm saying it's we talk about a lot of things because, like I said, we work together, and a lot of what we talk about is pretty funny. And I'm like, wait, could this be for the podcast? Could
You
we
had
save this? Could
you
we
had
save this?
aviators on, and you said, "I don't talk to the little guys unless they're
Not at all. Hey, but you get some of that money.
Yeah. So
This was also in line at Ross, so I was like,
big time to me at Ross.
no,
Yeah, we were looking for Batmobiles. We were trying to participate in Batmobile Summer.
exactly.
Okay, so my whole life, I have been someone who likes the character Robin,
Okay,
Batman's Robin.
of course.
I just don't like Robin with Batman,
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
So I had a conversation with somebody earlier this week about this, and I think that your opinion of Robin is totally based on your introduction to Robin and where that was. For him, it was Teen Titans, the cartoon.
Yeah.
So he's like,
He's a leader.
Robin's very cool.
Yeah.
My introduction to Robin was the 1966 Batman.
Okay.
And the cartoons that were in like the 70s and 80s that were that same character.
Sure.
Right? And I thought Robin was lame and just dragging Batman down. And I've always preferred Batman without Robin. Like, I want the Long Halloween. I don't really need Robin as part of the stories.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching YouTube, and somebody's doing just kind of heroes in general or whatever it was. The video is irrelevant, but they brought up Nightwing. And they said, blah, 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 Nightwing is Batman if he were well-adjusted. And I started thinking about that. And I was like, well, Dick Grayson is well-adjusted because Batman raised him to be well-adjusted. And Batman is a child of trauma. So really, Dick Grayson is a story of stopping the cycle of trauma. And in doing so, Bruce must have healed himself in order to do that. And when I looked at it from that point of view, I went, oh, I get it now. And not only do I want to like educate myself on more classic Batman and Robin stories because of that, I want Robin to be in the Batman 2. I want Matt Reeves' dark, serious movie to have acrobats that die and Bruce Wayne has to adopt a kid. To get the Robert Pattinson level of trauma and depression to the point where he can mentor a child, like that's the thing that brings him out of it or heals him somewhat. I'm now desperate for it. I did a complete and utter 180 on the topic, and I bought Batman Dark Victory to read to kind of see that Robin origin story. So I've been kind of living in that headspace this week, and even having like ChatGPT make images of Tanner Buchanan from Cobra Kai.
Okay.
As Robin, like in the Reeves universe, and I got to the point where I was like, I need it. I'll be disappointed if it doesn't happen now.
Yeah, I mean, if they go the route where Tony Zuko is who killed his parents because maybe they owed money, like it's a world in which that can exist.
In the Penguin Show kind of vibes, yeah.
Yeah, and then you also see in the Batman whenever he's in the house, the mayor's house in the beginning, and Commissioner Gordon. He sees the kid. He sees the guy's son, and he's like, he found him like this. Yeah. And then he's like, he just stares at him because he's like, he sees himself, right? As that 8-year-old. I love Robin. I think the concept, like conceptually, I think Robin doesn't make sense, but I love the character where you can make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like what you just talked about is him making sense.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do like, I'm not really a big fan of the family of like the Bat family. I
honestly can't stand like 23 people in the Bat cave.
Yeah, I think that's bad. Yeah. I think with like how we build Batman, I get that they're supposed to balance him out and they're sort of the thing that keeps him grounded to reality. But my version of Batman, I think, is the one where it's like he almost can't be reasoned with because he just is so sure of himself. Right. But and Alfred is essentially supposed to be that for him. I think Robin is a really cool character. I think a couple iterations that I would go for Robin would be that all of them, every like Tim Drake, Dick Grayson. I don't care about Damien. I know people love Damien, but I just don't care about that character. But I think Tim Drake is the best one, in my opinion. I love Dick. I think Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Jason Todd. I think that conceptually kind of what they did in the animated series or the new Batman Adventures, where they basically mashed them.
That was what I came away with, was like, oh, that's where they did it the best, because he's not a G. Willikers lame ass.
Yeah.
But he's also not a Damian Wayne psychopath.
Yeah, I think
he's just a normal like college kid.
I think like, if you make him work that way, where he's Tim Drake is basically like the next world's greatest detective.
Yeah.
Jason Todd is sort of the hothead that had to come from nothing. Dick Grayson is sort of the leader and the guy that knows Bruce Wayne the best, so has that trouble of like, am I becoming him or am I better than him? Or am I my own man?
Right.
But I like the idea of like just doing one of them.
Yeah, I think you just do Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
And you just stay away from the 60s G. Williker thing.
Oh, for sure.
And you also stay away from whatever Chris O'Donnell was doing. And you just make him like interesting. I genuinely, I went my whole life going, I don't want Robin in any movies ever.
Yeah.
Now I absolutely need it because I feel like it could be done well.
Yeah, and I think also the idea that I love about the Robert Pattinson one is that he's just like, again, there is a version of him where you feel like he can't be reasoned with. He's so focused on this one thing that he's just very not normal.
Right.
And I think that's how Batman should be. And I think that's how, in my opinion, I think that's how Robin should be.
Another movie that you haven't seen that everyone else has that's really good, that did this story honestly really well, is Lego Batman. Okay. Like Lego Batman is about him getting out of his own stuff and realizing he does need help and that he can trust other people to help him. And they did the Robin thing really well. Like if you serious that up, like perfect. But yeah, that's kind of where my headspace has been at this week. Outside of toys, inside of toys, can I borrow $50? I went on a roller coaster of emotions this week.
Okay.
So if you guys collect Marvel Legends, if you collect the Spider-Man retro cards like I do, I'm sure you have also been seeing the just waves and waves of people who are discovering a brand new display thing at Walmart that is like the collector space, and it's for the podcast. It's like G.I. Joe and Marvel and McFarlane. It's everything that's coming out right now, all on one kind of little wall thing. And it's got these little wrestlers in a glass case museum, and it's got the re-release of J. Jonah Jameson, Rhino, and Sandman. And I'm just fed up with seeing the joy of other people. And I have been in Walmart every day for feels like 2 weeks since this started to happen. And I'm losing it, honestly. And this morning I jump on the Walmart app. I see Sandman on there and I go, oh, okay. I had a miracle occur with the Monday Night Wars Great Muta. Maybe another miracle is in order. I throw him in the cart, and then I go look to see if J. Jonah Jameson's there because I already have Rhino, so he's there. So I get Triple J. I throw him in the cart, hit the little PayPal button, hit checkout. Your order's complete, and I'm like, did this really just happen? And it says it's going to get delivered today.
Wow!
I can't imagine that is possible, since there's none in the area. There's none at any of the stores around.
You know what? Just let it happen.
So that could be huge.
It could be.
That could be.
It might even happen whilst recording.
Yeah. I also pre-ordered. I don't remember. I feel like I spent more money than that. Ghost Rider. Oh, I pre-ordered the retro card Ghost Rider. Yeah. From
Which you have, but you're just going to get the on-card. You want to keep it on card.
Yeah, when I got it, I didn't have an on-card collection. So
Yeah.
now I need one for the card because that's like one of the dopest cards in the history of action figures.
Yeah, exactly.
Homage in the 90s Ghost Rider, just like all the other homage of the cards.
That one is probably the clearest image that you see in Jingle All the Way when they're in one of the toy
really?
stores, that Ghost Rider one.
Oh, I'm going to rewatch that this Christmas. But
paused it 2,000 times every time I see it. Hey, look at this! Yeah. So I think that it's literally that card.
Okay. And then I got through the door some stuff that I had gotten last week. I got the Aquaman 10-inch Justice League figure, the Green Lantern 10-inch Justice League figure, the Wonder Woman 10-inch Justice League figure, and the Super 7 Ultimate Bebop.
Nice.
Still need Rocksteady. Still keeping an eye out for Rocksteady. Can't find them for less than like $60. This was $20 on sale from Big Bad Toy Store. Definitely. I feel like there was something else I pre-ordered this week, like a wrestler or something. I might figure it out before we're done recording today, but definitely a lot of acquisitions.
Let's go.
Oh, what I meant to tell you about the buying Dark Victory, I had to go to Dragon's Lair comic books, local comic book store here. They didn't have it. Like, to me, it felt like the sort of thing that, like, you're tripping over copies of Dark Victory in the street. Like, it should be everywhere. Then I went, this is at rush hour, by the way. Then I went to Barnes & Noble. They didn't have it. So then I went to another Barnes & Noble where they did have it, luckily. And then Walmart was on my way home, so I stopped at that Walmart and also came up Bupkis there. So I had like an hour and a half trip just to buy a comic book in rush hour. It was a nightmare. But got what I needed and got the figures I was looking for. So as we sit here today, that's in the past. Fingers crossed Walmart doesn't just straight up cancel that order.
Oh, God.
All right. We are going to get into the new segment called Toy Soldier Figure Flashback. So we decided that we wanted to do this because we want to hear from you guys. You guys get to hear our voices plenty. And we had caught up with a buddy, and he was just telling us about like his love for specific action figures, and we were like, you know what? We should give the toy soldiers a chance to proclaim their love for whatever they want. Like, it doesn't even need to be an action figure. It could be
a toy.
Any kind of toy. Honestly, if you leave us a voice memo about a cool stick, I would love to hear it.
To me, I feel like that's why it's relatable is because we all kind of feel the same thing. You know, we all have that same sort of nostalgia, but then there's like the nostalgia goes even further because it's your own personal like, interpretation of the
other people's excitement and enthusiasm is the part that I'm interested less than the thing.
Yeah.
I may or may not be interested in the thing, but the enthusiasm is like infectious.
I mean, you'll hear today, depending on which one we go with, because we can
do Mikey.
Yeah. So my buddy Mikey, he's the drummer of my band in Virtue, and he is Mikey is one of the most talented guys I've ever met in my life. He is a writer, director, and actor. In fact, he's got a award-winning short film called Up on the Housetop, which is like a Christmas horror comedy that they've been working on, or that they finished, won awards with, but then they're actually working on like an actual feature film script. So he should hopefully be working on that in a big way pretty soon. Or, I don't know if I'm spoiling anything, but didn't sign an NDA. But yeah, I mean, you'll hear just sort of like the truest form of the love of toys, where like I've seen the toy he talks about. I don't want that. I'll never want that. But
I love that he
loves it. Yeah. That's the best thing about it.
So you guys can send your submissions to mightychampionsafr@gmail.com, or you can DM them to me on Instagram @mightychampions. Voice memo would be better so we can hear your enthusiasm. But however you want to contact us and let us know what that specific toy that you love the most, or that we're not talking about and you want it to get some love, send it to us. You could get featured on the show and we could get some love.
Yeah, exactly.
But right now, here is Mikey and his love for Brimstone Love.
Hey guys, I want to talk to y'all about my favorite toy of all time. So my favorite toy of all time is a character named Brimstone Love from X-Men 2099. The thing is I had no prior knowledge of about this toy. I just thought he looked really sick, and I bought him. He had this cool like metallic blue body shape, body color, and then his head was like this pink, and he had horns and a cape. No real articulation other than like just the legs and arms moved. I think that was about it. And he may have had like a spring action hip, but that broke a long time ago if he did. But that being said, the funny thing about this toy is he wasn't my favorite until one day my brother was mad at me, and he took a bunch of my toys and he just completely ruined them. He cut off Brimstone Love's horns, and he tried to stab him in the chest with like a knife. But the thing is, he had like a hard plastic that was like hollow, and so when he was stabbing him, it just made like little indentures on his chest. And I lost all of his accessories like the cape and stuff like that, or my brother threw him out, something like that. But after that, for some reason I thought he looked sick when he got his horns cut off. He just looked like this bald buff dude, and I thought it was the coolest freaking toy in the world. And after that, yeah, that's when he became my favorite. Also with Brimstone Love, or the X-Men 2099, was like my favorite like box to turn around and look at the other toys on the back. You had characters like, I remember Metalhead, who was also this giant, bald, buff guy. And then there was like Bloodhawk, I think was another guy's name. But yeah, I just thought they were so cool. I didn't know that they were a part of any type of line, though. I don't know. Toys were weird to me. I didn't look at them as a part of anything. I just thought they were toys. I don't know. I just thought they were characters. I thought they were just monsters that were being made, and that's what I liked. So, but yeah, that's my favorite toy of all time is Brimstone Love from 2099 after my brother ruined him.
In Rambo's world, there's new terror from Savage.
Gripper!
With a crushing grip and a motorized attack shield with 4 machine guns.
Make your move, Troutman.
Not so fast, Gripper.
Colonel Troutman.
Rambo's CO, Special Forces, expert with his auto-feed battle-action machine gun. Gripper and Colonel Troutman each sold separately with their battle-action accessories from Coleco.
Feeling lucky, Gripper?
All right, now we got to talk about the main thing that we came here to talk about today, which I am so thrilled that we're doing this, which is it to even say it out loud is like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
R-rated movies that have kids' toy lines. I was thinking about this earlier today, and we have, Aliens, Predator, Rambo, Robocop, Terminator. You have the Toxic Crusader. You have...
That's the one that actually I think blows my mind the most, if I'm being honest.
That probably has the largest disparity between what a kid should be ingesting and toys for kids.
I don't understand it. I really don't.
Do you know about the Toxic Crusader, though?
What about it's a Toxic
The
Avenger?
movie is the Toxic Avenger.
Okay.
That's the Trauma movie
Yes,
series that is like meant to be 10 out of 10 gory, filled with nudity, like over the top gratuity. It is excessive gratuity. That got turned into a cartoon called The Toxic Crusaders, which is it's basically a ripoff of the Ninja Turtles. But it's coming from that world.
See,
same main character.
To me, that is the one that blows my mind.
This is a culture that existed in the 80s and 90s to do that is insane. If I said to you right now, in the year 2025, there's a Terrifier cartoon with toys to get kids interested in watching Terrifier. It's the exact same thing. That's not a reach in the slightest.
Right.
I genuinely can't believe that.
I guess if we were to look at that right now, I've never seen it, really barely even understand what it is, but the Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
I think that is sort of a version of that today. That might be PG-13, but I know it's a horror.
Yeah, I think it's PG-13.
Okay.
I got about 10 minutes into the movie. It was like, this is terrible.
Okay.
But So I'm older than you. I'm a product of the 80s. I was born in the early 80s. I experienced the 80s with a hard drive that was clicked on.
Yes.
I have a podcast about figures because I lived through Terminator and Aliens and Predator, and I loved it. So I had loved my childhood, and I do this and I collect these action figures because I loved my childhood. That's in one hand. On the other hand, I genuinely can't believe I was allowed to. Like, looking back now, I'm like, what? Like, there will be times...
And that's where I come into play, because I wasn't allowed to.
Yo, I'm a wholesome boy.
Yeah, exactly.
There's times where me and Danielle will watch a movie, like Pet Sematary, and she'll go, how old were you when you first saw this? And I'll be like, 5. And she'll get this look in her eyes of like, you poor boy. Like,
Holy
she cannot
crap.
believe, and that's what my child.
Which is the one that, like, his face gets, like, ripped off by the dirt bike? Maybe the second one?
I don't.
Cemetery 2.
I don't remember other than the first one.
Okay,
but
well, I saw that as, like,
I
in passing as a
genuinely-
teenager and was sick to my stomach. I was like, I shouldn't have watched that.
I saw the first one when I was 5. I genuinely didn't sleep until I was 7.
He was awake for 2 years straight.
But I also never a moment didn't want to watch horror
Hey,
movies.
John, the light's still on. I know.
But yeah, okay, so let's start going through some of these, like, specifically. Let's actually start in a different order than I had planned to, because
Okay.
you watched Robocop.
Okay. So I was like, you know what? I told Samantha, because she was trying on clothes or something like that, and I was like, I'm gonna put it on Robocop. And she was like, you're watching Robocop? I was like, well, we're talking about, like, R-rated toys tomorrow. I was like, I just want to have, like, you know, because other than Aliens and Terminator, I haven't seen Predator yet or Robocop, and those are like 50% of essentially what we're talking about. So put it on, and dude, I gotta be honest, man. Like, I was sort of like head scratching.
Okay.
Because I do think conceptually it's amazing. But I was like, oh, they should have. A lot of my takeaway was they should have did this. They should have done that, you know?
Okay.
And it was just like, what's up? I'm Murphy. And then, like, hi, welcome. And then he's getting his arm shot off. And then it's just like, we didn't know who this guy was. He's supposed to be like the leading member. He's a bad boy, I guess, I think, right? And then he goes with, like, the cop, the female cop that can handle herself, you know? And then they're like, should we get backup? Yes. No, let's just go. And then he's got 2 guns out the window, and then they follow the people, and they're like, you want to do this? Yeah, let's do this. And it ends horribly. And it's like, where was I supposed to find that this guy is, like, bad to the bone already? And then he just gets, like mutilated. And I'm like,
I don't think you're supposed to perceive him as bad to the bone. I
well,
think
then
you're
I
just
didn't-
supposed to perceive him as a regular cop who's just doing his job.
then I don't know.
He just showed up to work that day.
Because I was trying to figure out, he was like, hey, what's up? I'm new. Hey,
And he
welcome.
died, and they still made him go to work.
Well, it's like, yeah. And then he gets blown to pieces. And then,
Also saw that movie when I was 5, by the way.
I mean, I still have, like, further thoughts on it about, like, why I think it's still, like, why I think it's still, like, a masterpiece in a way. Because also there's, like, scenes in there where I'm like, for, like, the guy, they're in, like, the executive lounge, which is just a nice bathroom. And then they're, like, talking to each other about that he got the vice president role, the dude from Blank Check.
Yeah.
And then they're, like, talking, but then it's the camera angle of the guy they're talking about taking a dump. And it's like the camera angle is from the stall with his pants around his ankles, and then, like, they realize it, everybody leaves except that guy, and then the dude comes out of the bathroom and is just like, you talking trash about me, basically? And then they go back and forth, then he leaves, doesn't wash his hands.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I thought was, like, kind of bizarre was that he takes his helmet off, and then, like, the last scene where he's, like, getting revenge, kind of. It's like the revenge scene could have been way cooler because he's remembering what these guys are doing to him. And I thought, okay, well, they're brutalizing him beyond like recognition. So it means that he's going to come that much further and then just like absolutely annihilate them. And he like kind of does. Like he's killing them in passing, kind of. But then he kills them that last scene, but then he doesn't have the coolest part about him, which is the mask on. In fact, it just is a weird looking image of this guy. And I was like, man, like that to me, I felt like, you know, I don't know. So
give your at.
What?
I think you should give your at.
Hey, I also think it was funny too, because it's like we also never see his wife and his kid.
Yeah, because you want a background for this guy. The point is that he doesn't have a background.
I don't know if I do or not.
That you have to piece it together with his broken memory.
I guess, but I think they were like trying to fit too much in there, and then just being.
I don't think you need to know anything about him to know that what happened to him is horrible.
Yeah.
Not that he died. The way that he dies is horrible, and I have a very personal story to tell about that. Okay. That's going to tie into the toys. But that a corporation bought his corpse and turned him into something is the point, and not necessarily who he was beforehand.
Yeah, to me, it felt like the movie is a set. I mean, hey, skip ahead if you haven't seen...
spoilers for Robocop.
Yeah, for Robocop. Skip ahead the next 3-5 minutes or whatever. But it almost is like satirical in a way.
It's very satirical.
So it's supposed to be like...
That's Paul Verhoeven's entire thing is satire.
Yeah, I was like, okay, it's supposed to be like modern day or like in the 80s modern day of like what was hot topics or political.
Corporations like Apple and like that wasn't a thing. It wasn't like common knowledge of how they operate. Everything you're seeing in that movie is like revelatory and satirical about the police, about crime, about violence, about corporations, about how corporations run the city, about technology and how fast it's evolving at the time.
Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff. It's purely satire, but it's also social commentary that's still relevant now.
The really interesting thing is that so I think The Dark Knight Returns was 88 or 89.
I don't know.
It was either 88 or 89.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of like crossover.
You'll notice now, anytime you see news anchor talking heads, it's directly taken from Robocop.
Yeah.
And Dark Knight does that.
It's very, very much a crossover because of like just sort of the scenes, the fact that
Frank Miller wrote the original script for Robocop 2.
There you go.
And it didn't get used, and then it did get turned into his script got turned into a graphic novel, which I have.
Okay.
Yeah, like very, very similar.
Which
stuff.
also ties back in because whatever the guy's name is voices the Dark Knight in the animated series. So there is like a heavy, weird crossover with that. But go ahead. Tell your.
So when I was a kid, when I was like 4 and 5, there was a cartoon called Robocop Ultra Police.
Sick.
Okay, that's where the toys that we're going to eventually get to come from. Robocop Ultra Police. I didn't know that this was a movie.
Right.
Because what we're talking about here and the insane concept of making cartoons and toys out of these. Robocop is about a guy who gets graphically maimed and killed by a group of drug dealers. Science rips his body apart, turns him into a cyborg where he loses all semblance of his humanity. Then he goes on a bloody revenge tour through like a dystopian version of Detroit, murdering the people who took him down. Here's 5-year-old me watching Robocop Ultra Police and loving it on Saturday mornings because it's together with Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends and the Incredible Hulk in the Marvel Hour.
Wow.
Every Saturday. Can't wait to watch it. My favorite toy of all time is the Robocop Ultra Police Robo 1 car with the Robocop that fits inside of it. I've brought that up before.
Yes.
The concept of the toy fitting inside the car was mind-boggling to me as a 5-year-old, and I still can feel that nostalgia. My dad and I move into a new house, and we go to the video store called The Video Store, which will come up a lot. It is the foundation of who I am. It's this place.
I love it.
And I see Robocop. I see the famous cover of him stepping out of the car, and I beg my dad, beg him, like, I have to see this movie. And I wore him down, and he hadn't seen it. He was like, okay. Then I had a TV and a VCR in my room. He was like, go watch your movie.
I love it.
So I watched that movie, and I watched Murphy get his arm blown off in screaming agony when I was 5 because of this cartoon and this toy line. Like, just, which I don't regret. It's so weird. If I had a 5-year-old, you couldn't give me $1 million to let them watch that.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I got to, though.
That all that said, and what I was even saying, because it sounds like I'm being negative about it, but when I really, and here's why I think it ties into the toy component, is because tell me an 8-year-old imagination and look at Predator, look at Robocop, look at Terminator, and tell me that's not just already the imagination of a night. That's why I'm like, it only makes sense to me. And no, it's like crazy, but it's like this only makes
both.
Sense. Yeah,
it's because it was just a time period of creativity and imagination, and
I think the ultra violence actually makes more sense, because if you look at the way, like, I remember back when I was in the store with my mom, I got a loaded gun at all times in my finger, right? And I'm over there just bah, 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 shooting around the corner or whatever. I'm thinking to myself, like, you're just, that's what it looks like. So an 8-year-old, the way that they're going to think is they're going to think in the same way that Robocop was made.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, crime is rampant, and we have to have this Robocop guy. He's robotic and he's a cop, and he's shooting people and there's blood flying everywhere. He blows off his arm. It's exaggerative in the same way that a kid would tell a story.
Yeah.
So it works.
So the Robocop Ultra Police cartoon comes out in '88.
Okay.
The Kenner figures, like,
because they're based off of the cartoon. That's how they justify it.
But they look identical to the movie.
Okay.
As much as you could in 1988, right? They don't have the technology that they do right now. But so Ultra Police it's what you think it is. It's like there was a show called Cops. It's a little bit G.I. Joey kind of, like, it's about cops and robbers. Like, it's just, that's really all it is. So Kenner makes the toys. There's 2 series. The series feature the people we know, like Robocop, Sergeant Reed, and Lewis, but you also have Birdman and Chainsaw. And like all these characters that you've never heard of.
Okay.
There's like the Ed 209 and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, by the way, that thing was really interesting to me because it was like
growls like a panther.
It growls and then it falls down the stairs and is making like these shrieking noises like it's an animal.
Thumbs up or thumbs down on the claymation? Would you actually? Let me rephrase that. Would you rather choose between knowing that the claymation Ed 209 look is fake, or knowing that the Fantastic Four thing CGI is fake? You know that they're both fake. Neither one of them looks remotely real to the eye. Mm-hmm. You only get one.
I mean, I guess it is claymation, or it's stop motion, right? Or is it?
It's same
yeah.
Thing. For me, I would rather have something that someone built with their hands.
Yeah.
And it has like charm to it.
Yeah.
To me. The thing looks like trash in the Fantastic Four. I'm just using that as an example to represent an entire era.
Right.
But I just, CGI doesn't, you're never going to go, wow. Ed 209 makes me go, wow, still.
Yeah. I mean, it almost was scarier in a sense.
Yeah. So yeah, you have all these like characters. You have the Robo One car, like I said, and then you also have some other really cool vehicles like the Robo Cycle, the Robo Jailer, which is like a van that you could throw bad guys in the back of and has a rocket launcher on the top of it. The Robocopter, and all of these kind of have this like blue and white kind of police theme to them, obviously, and then you have the Skull Hog, which is the bad guy motorcycle.
How many Robocops are there?
How many
the movies?
There's 3 official movies, and then there's some TV movies.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, I might be the only person alive that loves all three movies.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's the RoboCop and the Ultra Police. Like, honestly, there's a really high chance that I try to collect a lot of this stuff.
You would be denying yourself.
It's so sick.
Yeah. I mean, especially since you said that's your favorite toy ever. It's like you owe it to yourself.
I kind of do, yeah. Once I saw it again, I was like, ooh.
What do they run?
I didn't look up prices. I was afraid to.
Okay.
Like I said, I already spent a lot of money this week.
Yeah, I haven't really seen too much like of the RoboCop type stuff, but it could be maybe that it's so rare that it makes it more expensive.
Yeah. Okay, let's kind of bounce through a couple more of these. So another one of my favorite things in the whole world is Rambo. Okay. Rambo is about PTSD from the war in Vietnam.
Yep.
Rambo is about a guy who comes back to the United States, and the political environment in which he returns to does not accept him. He has a hard time adjusting to that. He gets picked up by a small town cop, ends up going on a bloody battle against the entire small town police force, goes to jail for that, gets taken out so that he can go rescue POWs in Vietnam, has a even bloodier encounter with the Vietnamese in the 80s. And that is where we introduce a cartoon called Forces of Freedom. Rambo and the Forces of Freedom. Oddly enough, as much as I love the Rambo movies, didn't really watch the cartoon that much because it wasn't really on that much.
Yeah.
And I had access to the real movies. So I just didn't care about the cartoon. It was like next best thing. The figures are sick though. So what
the toys are based off of, right? Is the cartoon? So
there's two lines.
Okay.
So one is the Coleco toys, which are based off the Forces of Freedom. It's a cool line. I just personally, it never really did anything for me. There's 18 figures from that line. They're 6.5 inches tall, which is kind of cool. And it's the Forces of Freedom, Rambo, and Sergeant Troutman, and against Savage, which is an acronym. Don't ask me what that stands for. They ended up producing 13 vehicles and playsets, which is pretty cool. Like heat-seeking missile launcher and all this kind of stuff. That's a cool toy line. What I'm personally more interested in, though, is not based on the cartoon. It is straight up movie to kids directly. Which is the playsets and guns.
I love that.
This is produced by Largo. This is where I was obsessed when I was a kid. So the carding is the movie cover from Rambo First Blood Part 2. One of the worst titles of a movie ever, but one of the best movies ever. You have got the 45 caliber water pistol.
Sick.
You have the 45 caliber gun set, which is the gun, the necklace, the headband. You have a bow and arrow binocular set. My personal favorite is the combat set. I made my dad buy this for me multiple times because I kept losing parts of it. You have your pistol, your knife, your compass, your walkie-talkie, your grenade, your headband, and your necklace. You are set to be Rambo. The term cosplay hadn't been invented yet. That's what I was doing.
You invented it.
And I saw this and I went, well, I'm going to buy one of those.
That's so sick.
If I can find one minty and just like put it on the wall or put it next to this poster, I'm absolutely doing it.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
It cannot hold, again, right there, that's a figure flashback or a toy flashback. Yeah. You cannot let that memory exist in vain.
So someone had, growing up in the Bay Area, someone had given me an Oakland A's bear. It was like a white stuffed animal bear wearing an Oakland A's shirt. Well, the A's suck. I'm a Giants fan.
Mm-hmm.
In order to make this bear tolerable, I put Rambo's necklace on it. And that was like child me being like, now he's tough and cool.
Yeah.
Instead of being a lame athletic.
You're like, get yourself together, soldier.
Yeah. But yeah, they've got, dude, the rocket launcher and like the machete and like all of these things. And it's now we're talking about, like I said, directly R-rated violent movie for kids.
But I stress again, you tell a kid if he's out there playing with a stick that looks like a gun, that he is playing that. That is already in his mind.
But you're also, and I sound like I'm against this. It is me. I can't be against it, but I am.
I mean, it is bizarre.
It's weird. It's
Plus,
just
back then the guns. I don't even think.
No, that was the other thing I was gonna say. They look like real.
They don't have
guns.
the orange cap.
The pack. You can buy a straight up 1911 handgun, and the only difference between a 1911 handgun and this is that this says Rambo on the side of it.
Okay.
The box says for children over 3 years,
just in case.
So preschool guns. That's what we're selling.
Oh my!
Preschool rocket launchers, preschool Uzis.
Okay.
It's. I love it.
Okay, I know I'm diverging a lot on this episode, but this is it. I got to get it off my chest. Okay. Talking about this because we talked about in a potential future segment where we mentioned like what is a it doesn't have to be always an action figure, right? Like what other toy line would we collect that isn't an action figure? And that's real, right? That's a version of that, which is like the Rambo guns. Like the packaging looks sick. We saw I think we mentioned we saw that at Retromania or something like that where and they looked sick. They were very expensive, like a couple $100. But I have this period of my life where The Punisher from 2004 was everything. Okay. Again, I know I haven't gone back and rewatched that movie.
It's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still awesome.
I loved that movie.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I think The Punisher should be.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a scene where he fights the Russian.
Yeah.
Right. Kevin Nash, the wrestling guy. That scene is so amazing. I loved that scene so much because they go hand in hand. It's basically like that dude cannot die because he just is like
Thomas Jane stabbed him for real in that scene, and it's in the movie.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah.
And they're like fighting throughout the apartment complex that he's in. He's getting thrown through the wall or whatever. He's getting like smashed. He takes but what you see with Thomas Jane or the Punisher is that he's got guns hidden everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like he got it pre-planned because he knows somebody's coming to his house and he's got to be prepared no matter what. So one of the scenes is where he hits the drawer and then the revolver comes out, right? It like slides out because whatever he hits pushes it out. And then the Russian smashes it with the rock or whatever, like the barrel. And he looks at it.
He picks up a dumbbell.
The dumbbell and he smashes it. And then you have a couple grenades that are hidden under the bathroom sink.
Yeah.
And then he jumps in the tub and then it blows up, whatever, right? I watched that movie, rewatched that movie at the time, saw that part, and felt this immense inspiration.
To hide grenades in the toilet?
So what I did was also when he has like his setup or whatever in his like wherever he's at underground or wherever where his like Punisher setup is, I had a lot of cap guns, right? Cap guns were part of my identity for a long time. And that's why I talked about the Rambo stuff because they didn't have the orange top or the orange like clip at the end. Yeah, the tip. But I had a lot of them. And what I would do is I would spray paint them black.
For sure.
Because I was like, okay. So in my closet, I know this sounds so bad in today's day and age. So
just sounds like you're from Texas to me.
But just check this out. This is solely from the imagination of somebody who loves comic books and who loves the Punisher. So that is all you need to know. So don't hold this against me in a court of law. All right. But in my closet, I take all my guns. All right. I took thumbtacks and I thumbtacked them on the wall. So when I go into my closet, I've got my M16, my armory.
Yeah.
I've got my M16. I've got 3 or 4 pistols, right? I've got like a 1911. I've got like a 45, a revolver. I have a shotgun that I sawed off.
As you do.
A plastic cowboy shotgun that I sawed off. Okay.
Dude, band name.
Exactly. Oh yeah. So then I'm pretty sure that is one. But like, so I had that hanging up there. So then I'm like, okay, that's where I go in. That's where I lock it up. I do my thing. I made so this is where it gets MacGyvery. All right. So right now I'm looking at, you got this storage thing. What is this?
A hutch.
Hutch.
A case.
Basically, it's a case, got some doors on it. I had something like this, like a dresser, right? There was a drawer on the top end of it. I decide to put a revolver in that drawer, okay? So what I do to set the revolver in there is I take foil, which foil was my best friend when I was younger because I could make anything out of it. I know I'm taking up time, but just trust me. I take the foil, I mold it around the revolver, and then I tape it to a piece of cardboard so that way it's just a mold that the revolver can sit in, so it stays in place. I think to myself, how can I build the contraption where I hit it and then the revolver comes sliding out? So I think, then I realize, where can I get a hold of a spring? So I find a pen, like a Bic, okay? I unscrew the pen, I pull out the spring. I find another pen, I pull out the spring. I build a contraption where I attach the springs to the back of the dresser so that when I hit it, it bounces out, and then guess what comes sliding out? It worked.
Yes.
Perfectly. It worked. It couldn't,
except for the part where it's not a gun.
Except for that it's not a real gun.
Yeah.
But it worked perfectly. And I did it. I wish I could have recorded it at the time, but I guess there weren't like really cell phones really at the time. And I then took more foil and I taped them. I bunched them up like a ball, taped them with like masking tape, spray painted that black, got my grenades.
Nice.
And I duct taped them underneath the sink. Okay. And then I also put like another like little gun underneath the toilet. And one Saturday where I was left home alone was the day.
Home Alone.
Basically. Home Alone 5. So that Saturday, it's 3 p.m. The sun is shining through the windows. And I decide today's the day that they attack.
Sure, yeah. The banditos and ninjas are on the way.
So I'm getting ready to go. I go into the armory, right? I grab my M16 that I have that has a shoelace as the strap. I put that on. It has a flashlight, a working flashlight, by the way, which is freaking awesome. And so I do that. I think I'm wearing a couple holsters that were from Cap Guns.
Yeah. Put
those in. I get one around my ankle too. So I stick my smaller gun back there. I grab the shotgun, keep the shotgun just in case, because it's when you run out of bullets and then you got the buckshot. And then I go through, essentially, I take probably like 5 or 6 takes of this to make it work, where I'm fighting everybody, blah, blah, blah. I'm using my guns. I'm doing the thing. It moves I start from the end of my house, move all the way through, get to the bathroom, have to do the grenade thing, pull the grenade out, jump in the bathtub. You know what I'm saying?
Split your head open on the faucet.
Exactly. Basically that. And then eventually I move in and then I'm fighting or whatever. They're choking me, whatever I'm having to reach. Then I hit the drawer and guess what comes sliding out? The revolver. It works. And man, it was absolutely worth it.
That sounds like the best day ever.
It was amazing, man. I was like sad that it was over and I was like, wow, like I built this story in my head.
Set it back up.
Anyway. Continue.
Hell of a way to spend a Saturday, and I'm so down to do that today.
Please.
Okay, let's go on to Terminator 2.
Okay.
So Terminator 2 is another foundation of my life personally. The Kenner, evidently, I didn't realize until I started putting together this list, Kenner might be my favorite toy company. Like, I didn't really put together how responsible they were for my childhood. So
they had everything, essentially.
Quick review of what Terminator is about, and Terminator 2 is about, is killer robots from the future sent to our time in 1980 whatever to murder the mother of the savior of the rebellion, right? And then they fail. She ends up having the child who is going to be the savior of the rebellion. Terminator 2. We send the T-1000 to murder the child and a refurbished Terminator to protect the child. And mayhem and violence and so many people dying ensues. Here comes Kenner. They said, we can market this to the kids.
Because John Connor's a kid.
I'm so glad that they did. And these toys are unbelievably sick. Remember, I was telling you an episode or two back, I spent a lot of time in the counselor's office. They thought I was violent.
See, if I had gone to school, I would have been in the same boat because, yes,
I spent a lot of time in the counselor's office. They didn't like I was making guns out of Legos.
Yeah.
They didn't like that I was drawing some war scenes. And
oh my god, with crayon and everything.
And they didn't like that I had a Power Arm Terminator 2 action figure from Kenner in my backpack. And they confiscated it. It was the first thing I ever had confiscated at school. Wouldn't be the last.
Did you ever get it back?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. The Terminator 2 Kenner line is another one that is, I've just been holding back on doing it on an on-deck collection because, again, I know that when we do that segment, it costs me money.
Yes.
I'm just going to get boned up on it, and I'm going to start buying it. But 33 figures in all.
Wow.
You've got there was one, like, official just wave of regular old Terminator 2 that has, you know, the ectoskeleton and Terminator and John Connor with the motorcycle and all the characters you would expect to see. And then they did the Future War, and then they did 3D, which was actually based on the ride. The Terminator ride has toys. Okay. And then there's some vehicles that are awesome, like the motorcycle and the mobile assault vehicle, and like it's just a very, very cool toy line. The main one though that I've never had or even seen in hand is the play set, which is called the Flesh Regenerator, and it is the assembly line that makes Terminators.
Okay, I have seen that, yeah.
And that it does not appear in the movie. So this toy is coming out as like an imagination that hasn't been seen in any of the movies, and someone went, well, how do they get made? Let's make a toy about it. Some genius at Kenner deserves to have a parade thrown in their honor for thinking of something that sick.
Wow.
I just like am in love with that thing. This one, this is the last one we'll spend some time on. As I was doing research for this, I had my lid flipped. Okay. Aliens.
Okay. Yeah.
You're familiar with Aliens.
I love it.
Everybody's familiar with Aliens. Killer aliens. Very gruesome body horror. A thing sucks your face and impregnates you through your throat, and then a monster busts out of your chest, then collects the people to nest them to make more. Absolutely disgusting. Let's make kids' toys for it.
That's the one that I'm like, that's wild.
Who makes them? Kenner. Here's what I didn't know, though. So I did remember, as a kid, I wasn't super into the Aliens toys. I did love the movie. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, wait, I think the toys were my into the movie. My next-door neighbor, also named John, he loved the Aliens toys. He had them all. He had the the mech suit thing and Ripley and all the Space Marines. He had them all, and we would spend a lot of time playing with them at his house, looking at the cards, making his mom take us to go find them and buy more of them. There's 58 figures in total. There was 6 waves, a really long and successful toy wave with a lot of really cool toys that you still see in vintage stores plentifully today.
Yeah.
Can I shock you? This toy line came out 6 years after the movie.
Okay.
And was not based on the movie.
Wait.
It's based on a cartoon called Operation Aliens that never came out.
Whoa.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was like, wait, what? So there was going to be a cartoon similar to like all these other ones we're talking about called Operation Aliens. Fox got cold feet and said, you can't make a cartoon for a movie like this.
Yeah.
That's insane. But the figures were already in production.
Wow.
So they just ran the figures.
And they probably worked anyway.
And they ran for 6 waves, like 6 years. 58 figures.
Wow.
That was nuts to me. So Operation Aliens was going to be a cartoon, a comic book line, the toy wave, and like they were going to make it a multimedia thing, and it was supposed to be like G.I. Joe.
Okay.
Basically, it was going to be
Everything seems to be like
everything's trying to copy G.I. Joe.
everything's trying to copy G.I. Joe.
Everything's trying to just get in line with G.I. Joe or He-Man or Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Everything else is like those. Those are the foundation. But yeah, so those are kind of the ones. And then, like I said, honorable mention Predator. We've talked a lot about those Kenner Predator figures. Again, about skinning people alive and ripping their spines out. Toy line. Toxic Crusader, Police Academy.
That one is crazy. Because there was a cartoon.
There was a cartoon Police Academy. That's insane to me.
Okay, so
Police Academy exists to be an excuse to put boobs on in a movie.
Yeah.
Let's get it. That's for the kids. And then Conan the Barbarian is another one.
But yeah, okay. but again, it's like those are the adult stories of already a kid's idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Like we keep saying, I'm of two minds on it. If I don't plan to have kids. If I had a kid, you couldn't. There's not an amount of money that you would pay me to let a 5-year-old watch Robocop. But I'm over the moon thrilled that I got to.
Yeah,
I can't. Maybe some psychologists can explain what it is I'm trying to say, but like, it's absolutely nuts. But I'm boned up on all of these figures. I can tell you that.
I'm looking around in here, and then you're talking about this. I'm like, I think if this segment confirms anything, is that you have a destiny to fulfill. The fact that you don't have so many.
Why couldn't you have been my counselor in first grade?
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm like, dude, you have you have unlocked your destiny.
Yeah.
Which is to collect those figures. The fact that you don't have any of them is like, you now know the direction of your life.
Yeah, the path is laid before me.
It's crazy because now that's just going to open the door for, like, especially if you go to a vintage toy store and they have any of them.
Yeah, I pick if I see Terminator 2, I pick it up every time, but I haven't seen one in person that was in good shape. Like, gotcha. They're usually pretty beat up, but it's been.
That's another thing. I guess you would collect on card.
I would collect on card. And it would have to be mint
for all of them.
Yeah, for anything. Like, I'm not going to collect crappy cards. I just can't do it.
Yeah. And
for something that vintage, what's the point in opening it? The figures suck in comparison to modern day. You know what I mean? I'm not going to play with them. So it's the carding and the marketing and the imagery that is capturing my attention. So. But yeah, should we get to the news?
Let's get to it.
Well, LexCorp's going down. Whether it's me or Superman, who does it?
If it's Superman, that makes it news, and I'll be happy to print it.
All right, it's a slow news week once again. There's not a heck of a lot to break down for you guys, but what there is pretty juicy. One thing I saw was that... who is this? Super 7 is putting out some new Gremlins figures, and one of them is actually Gizmo from Gremlins 2 when he mimics Rambo.
Wow!
So that caught my attention. So they're doing a Gizmo and a stripe.
Never seen it.
Yeah, figured not. NECA is. I haven't seen series 1 of this, so this was new to me. Is the Classic Comics. The Toonie Classics series. And they showed a Batman, a Catwoman, and a Penguin. The Batman looks really cool.
Okay.
The Catwoman looks pretty good in kind of the purple classic outfit. The Penguin, however, is nightmare fuel. So yeah, look up those NECA.
Oh, I've seen those before.
Classics.
I remember seeing the Superman in Target.
I collect the horror ones.
Oh, that's right.
But I don't think they're the same thing.
Yeah.
We also got this week, which is up on Amazon right now and is produced by Spirit Halloween, the Jurassic Park goggles.
Oh, I saw that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I saw the Jurassic Park costume in the Spirit store when I was in there buying the Wolverine claws, and
I was going to talk about those.
And I was like, oh man, the Jurassic Park employee costume is actually pretty cool. So these night vision goggles would be a cool added thing to that. Then in Ninja Turtles space, Playmates put out a 6-pack of it's called the 1988 remastered 6-pack, which has all 4 turtles, Shredder, and Splinter. And it's like it looks like the Playmates toys from back in the day. Good starting spot if you're looking to start collecting turtles. And then in wrestling, we have got the news that Mattel Creations is now selling Monday Night Wars, which is supposed to be a Walmart exclusive. So that's a good thing, but it's also kind of weird. So definitely go check out Mattel Creations. I think right now they have Monday Night Wars 7 and Legends 28 on there, which are both respectively Target and Walmart exclusive. So that's kind of weird.
And enough people buying them because they don't find them. So
yeah,
that's probably where they had to open up another.
What that might be is Mattel stepping in and saying, you guys are not doing a good enough job.
Yeah.
Major announced some new Big Rubber guys. We've got the Nasty Boys, which look freaking awesome, and Paul Ellering, which will go with your Legion of Doom. So head over to collectmajor.com and get those pre-ordered while you can. And then lastly in the news is that in the G.I. Joe space, the Snowcat was fully funded. And I think by the skin of their teeth. So, you guys voted. You wanted it. You're getting it. And all of the figures that come with it.
I guarantee you that Hasbro Pulse, the G.I. Joe operation was probably sweating bullets, man.
Last I saw, they were like 75 people away. It was like razor thin.
Yeah, that's 75 people times $325 or whatever it is. Like that's
they were real close, but it's going to happen. You guys are going to get your Snowcat, which I think is a good thing. I just also there's a part of my brain that wishes that they would have had to have learned that lesson.
Me too. I was hoping that it sounds bad, but I was like hoping that it wasn't going to get funded so that you'd be like, cool, like nobody's trying to spend $300.
Yeah. But yeah, so there is your news of the week. Let's do our on-deck collections.
Let's do it.
To your left, you may see a giant stegosaurus. Don't worry, they're safely secured.
Look out! Jurassic Park!
Dino damage!
The dinosaurs are on a rampage, and only the JP team is tough enough to stop them. Grant fires his net launcher. Ellie launches her grappling hook. Muldoon and the Jungle Explorer stuns him.
Nap time!
Tim Murphy saves a baby dinosaur.
Snagosaurus! Look out, Nedry!
Hungry for action? It's happening, but only at Jurassic Park.
All right, I'm going to jump in here with my on-deck collection because we've already touched on it a couple of times today, and because, like I've said, this segment keeps costing me so much money. This is a little bit more theoretical for now. You kind of said, like, we're talking about these R-rated movies that, like, I'm doing myself a disservice if I don't do it.
Right.
I kind of came to the conclusion that the Super 7 Ultimate Ninja Turtles are great, and I love them. And I'm going to keep adding to the ones that I have on my checklist. But they're an homage to the 1988 like Playmates figures. I should really have the 1988 Playmates figures. My toy obsession started with those figures. Like those were the first thing that I ever recognized that I was collecting. Wow. That I needed the next one and the next one and the next one instead of just what's right here, right now. Because up till then, I loved Robocop and I loved Superman and the Hulk and I loved, some of these things that we're talking about. Ninja Turtles was the first thing that I obsessed over and was ongoing. And seemingly never going to stop, and I was right. It hasn't stopped. There hasn't been a day of my life where I wasn't in love with the Ninja Turtles. And it wasn't supported. There wasn't movies or cartoons or something keeping my fanhood going. So I kind of just came to the conclusion that, like, I should probably get some of the, like, original Turtle figures. Herein lies the problem, though. One is they're very expensive.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if I would keep them on card or not because I love the card tremendously, but I love the figures also. Even though they're old, they're still just so sick. Yeah. And there's a reason why, like I was saying in the news, they're still releasing them, just remanufactured, but I want the originals.
Yeah.
Let's play over under. Do you estimate that original run which went from 88 to 94. Do you estimate there are over or under 600 figures?
Because I have been seeing so much of like the toy content out there that is so heavily revolved on turtles, I'm saying over 600.
786.
I believe that.
So clearly, I'm just never even going to attempt that.
But you're looking at like the Michael Jordan version of Donatello
Yeah.
or whatever,
So,
right?
so I think what I need is just a simple checklist
Yeah.
with the standard versions. But man, when I was a kid, if I'm doing this to serve my kid self, I needed Michael Jordan Donatello.
You did, yeah.
And I needed, breakdancing Michelangelo, and I needed Samurai Leonardo. I just don't know if I do. If it was the one and only thing that I was going to collect, then I would try to get everything.
What if, okay, let's say if you created another rule for yourself where, let's just say, okay, I'm giving myself this rule where if I see it in person, if it rings my bell, and if it's not, crazy expensive, what if you just do it?
Like a rule that's a loose rule that's based
Kind of a
on
loose rule, but if it falls within that year, that time.
Well, here's what I know is that I need the entire first wave.
Yeah.
I need the same characters that are in my NECA collection, which is the 4 main turtles, Splinter, Shredder, Casey Jones, Rocksteady, Bebop, Krang, and like a foot soldier.
Yeah.
Or multiple foot soldiers. So that I know for sure.
Okay.
I also know that I would go into Baxter Stockman, Rat King, Leatherhead, Jimbo. There's a lot of characters like in their standard form where I go, yeah, I need that because I recognize them from the show or I recognize them from the video game or whatever. I don't know that anybody that's in their astronaut suit is gonna ring my bell or not, but
the samurai ones though.
The samurai ones are
like the really like shiny chrome kind of robot versions.
The robot versions and like
baseball versions, like
the wrestlers,
dude.
Yeah. so that's my on deck collection. Is just I just kind of came to the conclusion that like I really just should be not just homaging those turtles. I should be actively chasing them down, but what that also means is my whole room trying to be one and done, then I'm not one and done. So then that opens up, do I also go for the movie turtles? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do I also go for the cartoon turtles? Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so now I'm just swinging that door wide open.
But here's the thing though, like here's my, I mean, I guess this doesn't really have to be a problem, but the one and done concept, it's like, it's real, but it isn't,
it's all constructs in my own head, but they're there for, like we talked about on like episode 1, I think, is like, they're there to save yourself money and space.
Yeah.
I collect so many things.
Yeah.
And there's only so much house before it spills out of this room and into the entire house. Wouldn't bother me one bit, but I cohabitate, so
yeah. But and it's a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
And like there's still a lot of life to live. So and just again, I think everybody else listening to this who heard you dive into every single one of those lines that you talked about, and basically you like those things were like day zero for you. You know what I'm saying?
Very formative.
So it's like
very formative.
Again, you owe it to yourself.
Foundation of Violence.
Exactly.
Another band name.
There you go. That's perfect. But yeah, dude, I'm like, man, like, and it's funny because I hear that today, and I'm like, it's about darn time.
You've just been sitting back waiting for the real me.
That's what I'm saying, because I'm looking around and I'm like, man, some of this stuff, this ain't you, man. This ain't you. Stop running from who you are,
dude, there's
man.
A Terminator right there. There's a giant Rambo poster right there.
I know.
Robocop.
But I also, yes, but it's like.
And the actual movies themselves are in here and get watched on the regular.
They do, but it's like.
But you're right.
But you need to complete it.
At the very minimum, the ones that stand out to me because they have a personal story, like the Power Arm Terminator and the Robo 1 car.
Yeah, if you just got those, like that may be all you need, right?
But that's not how my brain works.
Yeah.
All right, what's your on deck collection?
Well, my on deck, it's been one that we've talked about maybe a couple times, but Jurassic Park.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
See, that lives in the movie, lives in the space between what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg found the exact balance, the exact, homeostasis of how much can you scare kids? How much violence can you present to kids where it's appropriate?
Right.
And Jurassic Park is that sweet spot.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more graphic than you would think, but not that bad.
That lawyer had it coming.
Yeah, and Nedry Newman.
Yeah.
So here's where it gets interesting, because obviously Jurassic Park came out 1993. Jurassic Park Lost World came out in 1997, and then I believe Jurassic Park 3 came out in 2001.
Sounds about right.
So Jurassic Park 3 is where
that's
just
your entry point.
Yes and no. I watched the other ones. I loved the other ones, but I think where I really fell into the toys was Jurassic Park 3.
Okay.
Because when I go back and I look in hindsight, I do recognize like the karting and stuff like that, but where would I have seen
Who
it?
makes the Jurassic Park figures?
They were Kenner initially.
Oh my god, I knew it.
And then I think Mattel and then Hasbro both. I think all of those have
had a crack at it.
I think Hasbro was what did Jurassic Park 3.
Hasbro currently owns Kenner, right? Or Mattel owns Kenner?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
I think Hasbro. I think it's Hasbro, because there are
you're right.
There are Kenner G.I. Joe figures that exist.
Yeah.
So it's Hasbro owns Kenner.
Yeah, I think they're currently doing Jurassic Park, or maybe that's Mattel. I got to double check that.
Yeah,
I think the new figures look good.
The new movies.
For the new movies, there's something that's really unique about them that I think helps me stay away from the modern.
Yeah,
is that they're hard plastic.
Yeah,
the ones that I am used to, which if you're listening to this and you ever came across a Jurassic Park figure, you're going to know what I'm talking about, which is the T-Rex. But they were rubber. They were supposed to be like skin texture in a way of like where it feels like a real lizard or whatever dinosaur. Yeah. But they were like rubber. You could kind of like open their mouth, close their mouth. The best thing about it, you could obviously put a G.I. Joe sized character in their mouth.
Well, they came with workers. They came with like people who worked at Jurassic Park to feed to your T-Rex.
Yeah, and then you could obviously it goes in, then you pull them out of the stomach or whatever. There was a kid that went to my church when I was younger. Actually, several of them that had Jurassic Park toys, but this one in particular, where he had the T-Rex, was just sitting out in the yard. You know, we were there for like some Sunday get-together type thing. Tons and tons of people there.
Sorry to ruin your flow. I just looked over because I was trying not to yawn on the microphone. I have over there a backpack with a Punisher skull on it, filled with real guns. to your point earlier.
Backpack full of guns.
I actually have a Punisher.
So you actually have an armory in your closet.
Yeah, I did. I didn't realize that while you were saying it.
I love it because it'd be funny if like there's a scene where it's like, oh crap, home intruder, and you're running over there and you're just like throwing your toys out of the way to try to figure out where your gun is.
I would have to move toys to get to it right now. Anyways, go ahead.
It'd be hilarious. It's like if you did have the Rambo collection and then like somehow Danielle like was like, oh, these are in here or whatever, and you're like, yeah, Rudy, get down, get out of my house. But so anyway, T-Rex is out there in the sun. It's just there. And I'm like, oh my God. So I go over there. I'm playing with it for like a long time. Now I'm thinking to myself, how do I steal this? Because thievery was a problem for me when I was younger.
Kids be stealing.
Kids are stealing, man. I mean, I can't tell you the amount of times like, you know, I've had something in my pocket where my mom's like, where'd you get that? I'm like, oh, I found it. Found it in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out how I can steal it. And I'm like, I'm slowly, it's on one end of the property. I'm slowly moving it closer to like where our van was. Like
1 inch at a time.
1 inch at a time. I'm trying to figure out, I like joke around and I put it underneath my shirt just to see. And I was like, it doesn't fit. It's too big. So I'm like putting it down and I'm like coming back to it. And then I'm like, I have it and I'm like, man, this is crazy. And then I just like throw it closer to my van. And I'm like, wow, it's pretty durable. So I'm just getting it closer and closer and closer. And then I think by the time that I'm getting ready to like take it, the kid comes over and then he's, I guess, sees me playing with it and then all of a sudden wants it. And then he just comes over there and grabs it and is like, ah, and I was like, curses foiled again.
Because he knew you were a klepto.
I know, man, I know. But so I definitely would go that route. So that's the thing is I wish I could remember because it has the logo, like the JP logo on the side. Obviously, a lot of the smaller toys that came in there because they did obviously the big ones, but then they did like 6-incher versions or whatever that had the damage to them, which was Kenner from the 90s. And then they basically, that was something that was just repeated.
How is it possible that Kenner went out of business?
I don't know.
Like, this episode is like breaking my brain.
Well, think about it this way. It's like now there's a massive collector space with insane demand. Then maybe, I don't know.
But it wasn't collecting. It was just toys for kids.
It was toys for kids.
And I was there for the original Jurassic Park, and it was nothing short of a phenomenon. And I had a kid so I had like a after school daycare that I went to because my dad worked late. And the lady that ran that daycare also ran the summer like childcare, and she would also babysit me from time to time on like a weekend here and there. And then I became really good friends with her son because we were the same age. And so then I ended up spending a lot of time at their house. And that kid, his name's Billy, there's not a word to describe how obsessed he was with Jurassic Park because it was brand new and everybody loved it. But this kid loved it the most. And he would scream at his mom and make her get in the van and take us 2 towns over to Toys R Us to buy the newest Jurassic Park toys. And there was a whole row of them, like old school toy store, 10 feet tall, 40 yards long row of nothing but Kenner Jurassic Park toys. At least that's my vision of it. And they were moving, man. I don't know how Kenner went out of business because they were doing this with everything.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. But those figures were next level. Like, I wasn't as into it as him, but like I still like loved like the little side plate on the T-Rex, like on
the skin that you take off and then it's like shows of their flesh. Or
it's
whatever.
Like a battle damaged chunk of them, but it doubles as how you get the figure out of their stomach. Like, oh man, they don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah, and so I don't really have rules per se for like what I intend to go after. If I really want to go based off of what I had when I was younger, then definitely get a Dr. Alan Grant.
Yep.
Definitely get Billy from
Yep.
Jurassic Park 3, which, by the way, designed the way that I jump off of high things into water. Because during the scene in Jurassic Park 3, when they are... That's a great scene, by the way. I rewatched
Jurassic Park 3 does not suck.
No, it doesn't. It's an awesome movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. I love it. The Spiner...
2 sucks.
Dude, no, I like 2. I like 2. 2 is scary. 2 is a scary movie. Because the guy gets ripped in half by 2 T-Rexes when they're up there, like, hanging in the high thing, whatever they call hideout or whatever.
Might be scary to a kid.
Yeah, it freaked me out. At the beginning is a little girl getting eaten by compies or whatever they're called. So, yeah, it was scary for a kid. The Spinosaurus is freaking awesome. That's probably my favorite dinosaur, like, straight up. So, the scene in Jurassic Park 3 when they're in... This is a bird cage. You know what I'm saying? And it's the pterodactyls.
Yeah.
That scene is terrifying. That's a good scene of how they reveal it, where it's walking on the the catwalk with them. But the scene where Billy, I think, is like up on a cliff or something like that, or he gets hung up and then he has to like let go of the paraglider thing, and then he like the way he falls and kicks his feet. I was like, I want to be him. So anytime I jump off of a cliff into water, I'm kicking my feet just like that. So little bit of lore for y'all. But yeah, I don't really have, again, like a list. I would get him for sure. because I think he came with a couple tiny little baby pterodactyls because he falls in like the nest or whatever. And then the Spinosaurus for sure. Like I gotta get a Spinosaurus. I've seen apparently Jurassic Park 3 toys are pretty rare, which makes them very expensive.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe they thought the audience had grown up by that time and they just made less toys.
I mean, if you think about it now, we don't really ever, when we like look at toy stores, like I haven't seen.
I can't envision a Jurassic Park 3 toy.
Or any of them other than the new Jurassic Park.
I can picture Jurassic Park 1 toys, but that might be images from when they were new.
Yeah.
I cannot picture 2 or 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what scares me a little bit is that I'm like, man, because that would be an expensive venture to go on. I think what my focus is definitely buying them loose. I don't care about the packaging.
Okay.
If I did find them in packaging and it wasn't like crazy expensive, I would definitely get it. But
I think what you should do is just a dinosaur shelf.
That's it. Yeah. Literally just a dinosaur shelf. Whatever dinosaurs I liked, like there were some that I didn't care about. There were some that I loved.
Would they have to come from Jurassic Park though?
Yeah, I think so. I think that'd be the way to do it. I mean, Jurassic Park made enough toys for you to be flexible, for you to have a stack of them. I think one thing that is like a secret sleeper with Jurassic Park is that I have found many of them in Goodwills because they're like bulky.
They're just dinosaurs.
Yeah, they're dinosaurs.
To some people, they're just dinosaurs.
They're just dinosaurs. And they're bulky. They take up space, so people get rid of them. I have found more dinosaurs at thrift stores across, like Texas, essentially, that I'm almost confident that I will find one soon.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I'll buy them there.
We've already noticed that as soon as we speak these things into reality, they just start finding us.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
You're sitting next to 5 Justice League figures when we started this podcast that I didn't know existed.
Exactly. Speak them into existence.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's where I'd go. Definitely do the dinosaur shelf. I don't really care too much, if I'm being honest, about like the vehicles and some of the other things.
You don't?
I if I did come across them and if it wasn't just like over $100.
So to me, I'm not as big on Jurassic Park as I feel like I should be based on my age.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of people around my age are like, that's their main thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff that I do love is the Jeep, the like uncovered Jeep Wrangler, the Explorer, and just that pattern, that green yellow pattern, the T-Rex. Mm-hmm. And then the like cast of the first movie, like Dr. Grant, Ellie, the kids, like what's his face, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Like that. Those are the images that are burned into my brain. Is the vehicles and the like the goggles that we were talking about.
Yeah, that's huge.
Like that stuff.
It was funny. I was watching a video last night of some of the toys just to kind of like see what was out there that I didn't know of, and there was a big playset. I don't know what it was.
Dude, you're getting me boned up. Now I'm thinking about an Explorer turned on its side and a T-Rex and like a scene.
There's your scene. Dude,
you're costing me money, man.
I know. But that's the joy of life right there. But we're watching it. The giant playset comes with a bunch of dinosaurs, I guess, and the staff that works there. And Samantha sees it. She's like, "Oh my God, I want that." And if I know anything about Samantha, she wants it, she's likely going to get it. So I was like,
well, I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah. Well, I was just like, I think for her, she just is, she's going to see it. She loves it. She'll definitely get it if it ever comes up in real time. But yeah, I do know somebody that had one of the most amazing collections I've ever witnessed in my life. Like I'm talking vehicles, dinosaurs, like an army of them. And I haven't talked to him in a really long time, but I've been contemplating like shooting him a DM on Instagram and be like, let's talk. Cause I'm pretty sure why would you get rid of that? You know what I'm saying? But you never know.
Interesting. Interesting. All right, well, you guys got to let us know what is your on-deck collection. You guys have been doing an awesome job of hitting me up on @MightyChampions on Instagram and chatting with me. A bunch of you guys have sent me some really cool stuff recently. I had somebody send me their 10 figures that never existed.
Oh, really?
I could show it to you. Pretty, like, with great detail for all 10 as to why they should exist.
Wow.
Very cool stuff. So hit me up @MightyChampions with whatever
you should share that.
With whatever you guys want to talk about. Definitely send your figure flashbacks over to mightychampionsafr@gmail.com. Voicemail would be better, but whatever you guys want to do, and we'll be happy to get you on the show sooner or later. But share your love for your figures. Drop us a review. Very, very important for us. Takes 10 seconds for you. That's how the show is going to grow. That's how we're going to do things like turn into a video format, go on toy hunts, all that kind of stuff. So it just means more entertainment for you and more people that can find us. So please, please, please leave us that review. And other than that, we love talking to you guys, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
In Rambo's world, there's new terror from Savage.
Gripper!
With a crushing grip and a motorized attack shield with 4 machine guns.
Make your move, Troutman.
Not so bad, Gripper.
Colonel Troutman.
Rambo's CO, Special Forces, expert with his auto-feed battle-action machine gun. Gripper and Colonel Troutman each sold separately with their battle-action accessories from Coleco.
Feeling lucky, Gripper?